Trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
And I approve this message.
Oakland Raiders, Oakland Raiders, Oakland Raiders. Just win, baby, win, baby, win, baby. We are the Oakland Raiders, Oakland Raiders, Oakland Raiders. Just win, baby, win, baby, win, baby. Don't need no invitation. We are that Raider Nation. We rock that black and silver. We make them shake and shiver. We make them reconsider. And we still committed. So if you want a piece of this, you can come and get it. Touchdown, touchdown. Let's throw a bomb on first down. Let's throw a bomb on every down. First we score, then we clown. Having fun, look around. Nobody loud as a Raider crowd. Nobody proud as a Raider crowd. NFL, how you like me now? We gon' do this Oakland style. Nothing but action. I'm Bo Jackson, hit the hole. Run you over, goal line. Jumping over, going crazy. Lose your soul, lose your mind in the black hole. Here's the goal, Super Bowl. And everybody here, get to go. Don't need no invitation. We are that Raider Nation. We rock that black and silver. We make them shake and shiver. We make them reconsider. And we still committed. So if you want a piece of this, you can come and get it. Oakland Raiders.
What is up? What is up, Raider Nation? It is your boy Cheeto Linus back with another Overreaction Monday. What is up, y'all? What is up? Let me know if you can hear me. I know I was having trouble with the mic last time. I was blaming Turf. I don't know if it was me or if it was Turf. So if you can hear me, let me know. Let me know. Make sure everything is cool over here. We all good? We all good? You guys can hear me just fine? Okay. Right. Well, first and foremost, I just got some pretty bad news, but, it is what it is. One of my old Navy buddies, I just found out he passed away a week ago. So they just did the viewing and stuff. So they're going to bury him. So, shout outs, prayers to his family. He was younger than me. So definitely gone too soon, But, yeah, it is what it is. Sorry to hear that. Life's tough. I was debating on canceling the show, but I figured we'd just keep going, keep it going. Come out here and talk with y'all a little bit. Chona's not here today, so I hope and Rundown will be here in a little bit, and probably some other fools too. But what's going on? What's going on, y'all? How we feeling? I know this morning was a little crazy, listening to different people's shows, different people's takes. Some people were still in their feels, other people were being called fake. And so let's talk about it. But first and foremost, let's say what's up to the chat. What's going on? Sacktown Raider Mike, my G, my dude. What's going on, brother? Welcome. Moval Raider. Welcome, brother. How's it going, my boy? Turf is in the building. What it do, Raider Nation? What's going on, big dog? Raider Ryan, salute, brother. Salute. Fear Raider, salute, brother. Salute. Welcome. Thanks, bro. I'm making sure I can get heard this time. And then Dub Raider, what's going on, dude? What's going on? Hey, what's up, Ryan? Appreciate it, dog. Appreciate it. The Raiders are like renegade hoes who suck. We'll get to that, brother. We'll get to that. Yeah. Hey, Sal, appreciate it, bro. And then Fear Raiders. Amazing how some mocks still have us taking Sanders at 6. So we'll get to that, right? That's the big concern everybody's been bringing up, right? What did we do? Did we cost ourselves Sanders? But let's talk about the game really quick. First and foremost, me as a fan, I'm excited that we broke the losing streak. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I'm one of those fans that got mad that we won. I'm also wasn't gonna be mad if we lost. Like I said, I know by losing what that does for us draft-wise, but also as a fan, I hated the losing streak, I also know the players and the coaches just aren't going to go out there and lay down. I also understand that part. Tanking may come from the front office, right? It'll put us in a better position. If you've seen the pressers afterwards, when AP was asked about when he was asked about the draft position and them winning and them risking it, he said, ask Tom Telesco. So obviously there's been mixed emotions about that reaction and his response, kind of made it seem like they were separate. They should be on the same page. But at the same time, yeah, the draft is the GM's job, so that is for him to deal with. It ain't AP's. AP's job is to win, get the most out of his players. Obviously, he hasn't been doing a great job. If we're 3-12, but at the same time, I think if you watch JPJ walking off the field celebrating, he was excited. When they went to the locker room, I didn't see cigars, which I'm glad. I'm glad I didn't see cigars, but I did see a team that was happy to finally get that losing streak over with. It is what it is towards the end with the draft. I mean, the season's not over. A lot can happen. Tennessee does play Jacksonville, so there's that. You never know what could happen in the end. These playoff teams might sit their starters. The Giants might pull off another victory. So until it's done, until week 18 is over, and we know our actual draft position, then we will see where we're at and what we can do. Obviously, if you guys have followed the show, you guys know me. I am a big supporter, big fan of Shedeur Sanders. So if we were to get him or land him one way or another, I would be happy. At the same time, I feel we need a quarterback. So if we got even Cam, I would be happy with that. Not having a top 5 pick kind of changes things a little bit, right? Because I don't want to have to reach for a quarterback. I've been saying that. Are there other quarterbacks in the draft? Yeah. Once we get to the offseason, we'll start doing more shows about that. I do love and watch college football. Shout out to the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, smashing Indiana on Friday, putting that work in, smashing them. But I am a big college football fan. So there are other quarterbacks. Rourke was one of them. He was out there. He played against Notre Dame on Friday. He was one of the guys that people talked about. Dylan Gabriel's another one out of Oregon. Some people don't like him because he's short. I'm a big fan of Kyler Murray. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. I'm only 5'7", 5'8", so maybe I like the short dudes at quarterback. I don't know. I'm biased. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. My boy, Billy Davis. What's going on, big dog? How's it going? I got your message, Billy. Send me your address, bro, and I'll get you one of the black ones, and I'll send it over to you. Capitan Rafucho, what's going on, brother? How you doing? ¿Cómo estás? How's everything? And then, of course, appreciate you. But yeah, I mean, we won. What can you say? Depending on where you were on the field, on the side, whether you were Team Tank, whether you were I'm tired of losing, whether you were we just don't sit down, lay there and die. I mean, it is what it is yesterday. I made a video yesterday with shout out to the homie MC Raider. We went to the 28 West Bar. So if you live in the LA area, that's definitely a cool spot to go watch the Raider game. It is for Raider fans only. It's part of the San Gabriel Valley Booster Club. So if you go, you must be a Raider fan. So if you're wearing another team's apparel, they do not let you in. And they do enforce that. I am not lying. I saw it firsthand one time. Me and MC Raider didn't let this girl in because she was wearing Green Bay Packers stuff. But, that was fun. But we did do the video. I was laughing that we won. MC Raider was sad, because he wants us to have that higher draft position. But, I mean, it's funny when you look at all the different content creators, I guess, different social media persons talking about Sunday's game, that the Raiders had one job, and it was to lose. But then weeks before, they were complaining how pathetic they looked, right? Like, this is the worst team they look. This is the worst that. This is the worst this. So then they finally come out and get a win together, and you're still not happy. And I get it. It's easy to be miserable when you're 3-12. Very easy to be miserable when you're 3-12. Very easy. So it makes a lot of sense. New England Raider, what up, Jeff? What's going on, big dog? I saw the pictures of you with the Raider PJs. So if you get a chance, bro, hop on. You can show everybody your PJs. Get on here, brother. But yeah, the MC Raider clip was hilarious. Yes, it was. But I mean, like I was saying, it is what it is when it comes to that. Me as a fan, I want us to be able to have the best opportunity to draft the player. Of course I do. But then also me as a fan, I don't want to see my team continue to lose. It just does something to you as a fan. we were joking around with us amongst the group about the ticket prices, right? You always hear fans complaining about the ticket prices. They're too expensive. They're too expensive. They're too expensive. Finally, right? The ticket prices were so cheap that you could have sat in the club for $150. Did that change the attendance based on what I saw on TV and other people's social media? Not by much. So it comes down to it. Is it because they're losing? Nobody wants to go. Horrible game. I definitely don't expect to see the same at the last game. The last game is against the Chargers, so that's definitely the whole LA, the LA rivalry. The LA people go out there, the Charger, just to go out there to see us beat the Chargers. Hopefully that game will mean something, right? I know people call these meaningless games, but if it comes down to it and we have an opportunity to knock the Chargers out of the playoffs, how many of y'all would be for it? Want us to beat them just to knock them out? Or were you saying now that we want one, there's absolutely no way we can win any of these next two? You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on what side of the fence you're on when it comes to that. Make Myra G in the house. Yay, area. What's going on, Myra? What's going on, Myra? Welcome. And Mike, we are almost there, bro. Almost. I am almost at the watch hours, so we can finally get monetized. And then we can start putting in some of those super chats so you can put and I appreciate it. Put some money on all your work, man. I appreciate that a lot, Mike. I really do. Also, there's other ways too. You want to support the channel. I do sell Raider merch. This is one of the jerseys that I sell. Yes, this is an Aiden O'Connell jersey. It is the AO12 one, It is that one. I also do the hats. I do this one. This is a new one. White with the silver. Billy Davis saw the other ones, the black ones with this. And I also have these new LA Raider hats because I am an LA Raider fan. So I like to put out the LA Raider merchandise as well. But yes, like Turf said, make sure you like and subscribe, y'all. Sun Goddess, what's going on? Welcome, Queen. How's it doing? How you doing? It's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to see you here. But yeah, so that's where we're at right now, But I will say this, it was an ugly game. You definitely saw why these teams are at the bottom of the pack based on what we saw on the field. We had no offense going. Our defense kept us in the game. Jacksonville, I guess, knew the assignment according to people, right? They had opportunities to come take the lead and take it over. But then again, it was what it was. We pulled off the victory at the end, but it was definitely an ugly game. From the get-go, the Raiders had no running game. We're down to just Abdullah. Abdullah did his thing out of the backfield. Shout out to Turf. I believe he is Abdullah's agent as well as Sincere McCormick's. But he did do his thing out of the backfield, catching passes, things of that nature. But you definitely saw what the lack of run game has done to this team and what it does on the offenses. Huge shout out to Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers continues to do his thing on this team, out there catching balls, making miraculous catches, getting open, getting that yak. So one of the things I am very grateful for this season is seeing the emergence of Brock Bowers and how he's working with his team. Another thing I was pleasantly surprised to was AOC. I'm not saying he had the greatest game in the world, which he didn't, but also just to see him out there slinging the ball, getting it out there. He didn't look bad, but he also didn't look great either, right? He did move around out of the pocket. The thing that does strike me as funny is that you do see the emergence of Trey Tucker whenever O'Connell's in the game. And that's interesting to me. When I start to see when the other quarterbacks were there, you don't see him that much. So it was good to see Trey Tucker get out there and get some burn. Jacoby Meyer as well. So it was good to see a couple of players out there. But for the most part, it was a very slow offensive game. Let's see what's going on. Raider Paul, what's going on, big dog? It's the Raiders. We suck again, man. We've been sucking. So I don't know where, but we've definitely been with that. He's like, I'm with winning the last three. Make Telesco do his job. See? So that goes back to what AP was saying, right? When it comes to the draft position, when he was asked today, when he says, well, what do you feel about the nation's thoughts on you guys winning and losing that first round pick? And it says, talk to Tom Telesco. Because I guess at the end of the day, it is Tom Telesco's job to build a team so we can go ahead and succeed and go forward. So he's 5-12. We're beating the Saints and the Chargers backups. Look at that. Another one. That Raider fan also thinks we're going to go out there and get that dub. So see, there's people out there. I'm not the only one. Now, see, you're going to 5-12. That starts to put us maybe in the teens of the draft, and it's definitely going to get a lot harder at that point. But like we were saying earlier in the show, although a lot of us are fixated on two main quarterbacks, right? There are more than two. Two primarily are the top ones. You would need top 5 pick to get those guys, unless the way the draft, sometimes you never know, can go some crazy way and other teams might not want them, look at them differently, and quarterbacks start to drop. But you definitely have some later round quarterbacks that you can look at as well, right? So we'll definitely see. Myra, thank you. Thank you. He said, don't forget to order your merch from Chido. Yeah. Raider Paul, how you going to lose the first pick? Like I said, we still got 3 games left. We'll see what happens at the end, where we are, and then you let the GM work his thing and figure out how we're going to do this. You got to remember, as much as we were over here wanting that first pick, if you still really want that quarterback, there's ways to go get him. Only now it's going to cost you. So are you willing to be able to pay that fee, pay that extra draft, that extra capital to move up and go get your guy? Or now do we go back to some of the plans some other people have had, where there was, we find another guy, we get a bigger need, we take best available instead of going after a quarterback, right? There's a lot of good players coming out in this draft. Do we get a running back? I, for one, don't think we get a running back that high anyway. If we do get a running back, there's so many running backs in this draft, you can get one later, right? Raider Ryan says, I'm all for us drafting our QB of the future in this draft. I'm happy for the players finally getting a win and all the fans that went to the game, but was it worth it? And then that goes back to it. Exactly. Yes, you get excited that you finally won a game. You broke the losing streak, right? But now we find ourselves at 6. You ask yourself, was it worth it? Well, I guess that all just depends who you ask. You ask fans who are looking at the future, right? What are we going to look like in the going forward? Then it wasn't worth it, right? You talk about it's a meaningless game. You ask players like the rookies, like JPJ. You ask players like O'Connell. You ask players like Jacoby Myers if it was worth it. They'll probably tell you, yeah, it was. Because to them, they finally got that losing streak done, and they can focus, and all their hard work and their effort finally got to put out into a W. So it just depends on what position you're looking at for and who. So, I mean, you'll start with that shit. No, I'm not talking about my bullshit with AOC. I'm not, because I've always said I've always wanted another quarterback. My thing, to me, he was a better option than Minshew. That's all I ever wanted. I'm not saying he's the future. I don't want him to be our future, bro. Never did, never will. Right? To me, he's going to be a backup quarterback at best. And that's it. Fear Raider says, funny if we win our last, we will be at the total ESPN listed as the beginning of the season. Yeah, that is crazy, right? And you remember how much we were all upset, how we were being disrespected. There was no way we were going to only win 5 games, me being one of them. But then I think that goes back to us being Raider fans and how loyal we are to this team. We knew what the quarterback situation was, but we hoped it would work out. We knew what the running back situation was, but we hoped we had the answer and letting JJ walk and sticking with the running back stable that we had, right? We hoped that Luke Getsy, that it wasn't him, that it was Justin Fields' failure, right? And those are just things that we saw, and the way it turned out definitely did not go out the way we wanted to, and then now led to the 3-12. The other part too was the defense. So many of us were so hard on, and I know I was one of them, on how great this defense was going to be. But once you started losing players like Kuntz, Wilkins was a big loss to me, right? Then you started seeing another ones like Bennett went out. So those types of injuries really impacted and hurt this team as a whole, because we didn't have the depth to overcome them. Now, luckily through coaching, some of the players, to Telesco, AP, whatever, or even the defensive coordinator, we've seen some stars or some spotlight in that cloud, right? You think about players like Chason. Chason came out of nowhere. Now all of a sudden you see him out there balling, right? And I don't care what anybody says, that interception was an interception. That was not incomplete, y'all. I don't know if the refs were trying to help us out with the tank, but at that point I was like, there's no way they called that, but they did. So you can see, but definitely see where that is too. So, But anyways, and like Raider Nation says, no guarantee of a QB we were. And exactly, you never know, right? So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And even with that, even when it comes to things like that with the quarterback, right? We always know you don't know if there's going to be a guarantee if he even succeeds. For as much as I am a fan of the quarterback that I like, I know in my mind there's no guarantee that he's going to be successful. There's no guarantee that he's going to be CJ Stroud, that he's going to be JD5, or that he's going to be our general. The hope, it goes back to the beginning, what I said. It's the hope is that he is, that by taking someone that high, you're hoping he's going to be the answer to be able to get you to that next level. Because when you go out there and you think about it, that's what we see out there, right? You see it's a quarterback driven league, right? Everybody seems to be having the big quarterback. You need the big quarterback. You look at our division, we have to go against Mahomes. We have to go against Herbert. And now you got Bo Nix playing well with the Broncos and Sean Payton. So it definitely puts a lot of pressure on being able to show up. And you need that quarterback. You really do. So it puts a lot of more pressure on who's going to be our guy. Everybody else has their shiny toy. Who's going to be our shiny toy? So I can see where that comes from, that need. And why I want one too. It's been so long, It's kind of like, okay, well, we're going to have these weapons. Who's going to be the guy throwing him the ball? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? So definitely see that. So Raider Paul says, we lose the next 2 games. So he's definitely on that one. Salute, AR. Salute, my brother. What's up? What's going on? If you haven't already, subscribe, follow him. He has an amazing show. He does his early, of course, in the morning because it's in a different time zone. But make sure you're following him as well. AR says, wherever we pick in Tommy T, I trust. And that goes a lot too, right? We have a lot more faith now this year. I know I do as far as the GM. Do I expect him to hit every year on his first 3 picks? Probably not. But will the expectation be there because he's done it before and I'm a Raider fan? Probably. Is it an unrealistic expectation? Absolutely. Absolutely, it's an unrealistic expectation. But I think sometimes we focus so much on the first 3 rounds that we also forget the late round picks. And those are kind of where you develop your depth, where you develop your core of the team as well. Let's not forget, Max Crosby, our superstar, wasn't a first round pick, right? He came in the later rounds. So you can find success there as well. But then again, you also can get you a good one in the earlier rounds, but you can also miss. You think about the times we've missed on our linemen, right? We've missed on them. We've missed on defense. We hit with JJ, right? He had his couple good years. To me, he's probably the last one that we hit. And then Khalil Mack was another one where we actually hit. Amari Cooper was another one. But then you have so many other that I don't even want to go into because I don't want to bring up those dudes that we completely missed on, right? Turf, he says, fellas, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all didn't know I literally the #1 AOC fan on this channel. And that has been from day one. And that is 100% true, y'all. From our off-season talks, from our off-season meetings, from our group chat, from our trip to Detroit, my man Turf has been on this dude about how good he is, what he could be, what he can be. So definitely he's definitely been the one on that train. And I will give you that, bro. James Frippo, what's going on, brother? Welcome. Raider Nation for life. Raiders, that's what's up. That's what's up. And yes, Turf, rock with the Minshew because he was chosen as our starter. So, and now people will ask me that too, like, oh, if you don't believe in him, if you want Shadura, why are you wearing an O'Connell jersey? Because he's the Raider. If someone's playing on there, I will support the team and I wear them. Mind you, you guys know I do the merch, multiple jerseys. I have this one. I have a Bowers. I have a Max. Things of that nature. So I just continue and I'll wear those, right? He's like, Jeff, you might not know, actually. Ask Leo. I have been AOC and a McCormick. Man, I think he's a McCormick's agent, bro. From the last, talk we had about McCormick, Surf was trying to tell me or explain to me how McCormick probably wasn't hurt. And we were just doing what we call #SS to make sure we don't ruin him, save him for next year. But we'll see how that goes. Either way, whether we keep him or not, I'm still not a believer that he's the one, but we'll definitely keep him in the stable to see what the mix. Oh, we got a guest. We got one of my boys What up, Jeff? What's going on?
What's up? What's up? How we doing?
Did you see this one?
Yeah. It's official after
like,
this
woo!
win yesterday.
More
AOC 12, 2024,
Project AOC 12
2025
2025
is
is on.
We're back in business.
Right, but mind you, can you explain when you say Project AOC that you don't see him as the future, but you see him as the bridge guy, correct? While we find the
bridge
rookie
guy, and if he does good enough as the actual starter, which he should have been at the start of this season,
right.
who knows what he could be in the future?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, he hasn't really been given a fair shake this year. At
true.
least
I mean,
from the start of the season, since he's been
from the start of the season, no. I mean, he got his
Yeah.
chance at the Rams and he got hurt. That's not his fault, right?
no.
He got hurt. The Tampa Bay game. Oh, don't get me started on that one.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs game, he showed, I guess, what a lot of people say that's the potential, right? Because
Yep.
he balled out that game. I will give him that. We were watching that live
Even
with Turf.
yesterday, he played good. Granted, I know it was Jacksonville, but he still played
Yeah.
decent yesterday.
Uh-huh.
You know, I saw
Yeah,
Turf
yeah.
say that. I didn't know Turf was a big AOC guy from the start.
Oh man, he was huge.
I've only been around
bro.
short term. I don't have a long history yet.
Yeah, no, he definitely was. Raider Paul went from Cam Ward to AOC. Who did? Who went from AOC from Cam Ward to AOC? Well, I mean, I guess that's the options right now because at 6 we can't really, go that route. But the funny part, bro, is the big boards. You know what the big boards are when it comes to like the draft?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people put the big boards, and that means they're ranking the top players, right?
Mhm.
Doesn't mean that's where they're going to get picked.
Correct.
But based on their talent, their evaluation, that's where they rank, right?
Yeah.
And when that comes out, I think you'll see a lot more where these quarterbacks will start to fall, and where they fit. And then that's when teams come and they draft based on
traditionally how we used to draft. So we would have on this side over here, we would have all these quarterbacks listed here or players. These are the highest ranked players, but would come our pick. We'd pick a guy all the way down over here somewhere at the bottom of the board and reach for the guy that's scraping the bottom of the barrel in that position.
Right.
We would never go for best talent like we did this past.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I see that. And I think for the longest we didn't do that. Actually, when we picked Derek Carr, I didn't know who he was. Honestly,
I didn't either.
I didn't watch Fresno State. Like I mainly focused on the big conferences, But I did hear them talk about him during the draft, and the draft was, this would be a good place for him. So I mean, to me, that was good for when they did it for that time. Eventually, things that happened or whatever. But I think for me, our mistake was not continuing to pick more after him.
Yeah,
trying to have that next guy or even that competition. To me, he probably had one of his better years when Mariota was on his ass.
Yeah,
yeah.
But
how you feeling, man? I didn't get to talk to you yesterday about the game.
I don't know.
What side of the fence are you on? Were you mad? Are you happy? Which one is it?
At the end, it's like, a win's a win. I'll take it. You don't want to see us lose. I know a lot of people were, upset that we won, and how you're wishing we lost because of the potential draft pick we were going to get. I get it. Everybody wants a quarterback in the worst way. Everybody thinks that the two that are going to go 1 and 2 in quarterbacks this year are the absolute answer for our situation. They might be, they might not be. So, I mean, again, you don't know what you're getting when you pick these college players when they come out. You can only go by speculation and what you think personally, and what the tail of the tape tells you, especially after the combine. If they go to the combine and they absolutely stink it up, which has happened before. Somebody that's highly touted coming out of college, they go to the combine and they suck. Or why some players just do a pro day instead, because you're only seeing them doing their thing. You're not seeing them out there competing against, quarterback A, versus quarterback C, and he threw it 90 yards, he threw it 40. You're not seeing those. You can do the measurements and put them side by side later on, but in the moment, that's totally different.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a lot more pressure on these college kids when they do the combine together like that versus doing a pro day. Pro day is a little bit more relaxed. They can have a better time at a pro day, and I
And
get
then
why
their
they do that, too.
environment, their own team, it's a lot
Me
different.
personally, I'd rather be there with the competition so I can outshine them.
Right.
Would be my goal. You know,
Yeah.
do a pro day. I mean,
And you see it too with certain players. Like I know with Xavier Worthy, you know, he increased his draft position by that 4.
yeah, and that's just it
You know,
too.
if he doesn't run that 4.2, whatever, like he doesn't go where he went. You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then even it could hurt you, and then it can also not even be true because if you remember Jalen Carter, he was supposed to be a top pick, but because of the character and the
off-field
stuff that
issues.
came out, off-field issues, he dropped. Right, and now you look at him in Philly, and it's like, damn, none of that stuff mattered, right? You know,
it's all on taking a chance on a player, plain and simple. You know,
that's what it
you're not
boils
going to hit
down
a home run every time. It just doesn't
Mhm.
happen every single draft pick a home run. But
Yeah.
you know, my thing yesterday, we had the Christmas party yesterday for the Booster Club, and you could hear the reaction or feel the reaction at the bar when we took the lead at the end.
Really?
You know, when we finally had the lead. You could hear the little hisses and you could hear people going, "God damn it, why'd we score?" And then you hear other people, people getting excited because we scored because we're gonna win.
Right.
So it's like even there at the bar. Now there was like, I don't know, maybe 50 of us there or so. It was definitely split on how many were in favor of winning versus how many were really in favor of losing.
Yeah.
So it was just weird to see that vibe, which is a weird vibe to see it in person with people and you watch their reactions. Like you see a score touchdown, you look over, one guy's sitting there like this going, "What?"
Yeah.
You look across the other room and they're going, "Yeah!" They're all excited, you know.
But that literally was me and MC Raider all day yesterday.
that video you did was freaking hilarious. That was just great. I thought you were going to the game.
I was, but the Sunday morning flight ended up being filled, so it was not available anymore. So I couldn't get that one. And then I was gonna rent a car and go down there with my girl. We were gonna go together, but then it was just the expense, Christmas, and then I was like, you know what, we'll just go. And then MC Raider hit me up about watching it at the bar, so I'm like, you know what, just go to the bar. Yeah, I was gonna go. I mean, but I looked in the morning, like the last effort chance at tickets. Dude, it was $150 to sit in the club seats. And even watching the game, I was like, oh, I could have been sitting there. Like, I could have been sitting there. Yeah, Joker, what's going on, brother? He said, was Tom being petty about AOC getting him fired, and got Minshew out of spite? We all know that Minshew got Raider money that JJ deserved. That's just a conspiracy theory. I'm not one of conspiracy theories when it comes to that, you know. I wouldn't say Minshew got him fired. I think his bad choices and head coaches got Telesco fired, you know, but it's definitely one of those things you can you can look at, but I'm not one of conspiracy theories. What about you, Jeff?
The biggest thing for me with conspiracy theories, I'm more of the Chiefs just getting away with freaking murder. That's where I see the conspiracy.
You're telling me that if one of the Chiefs defensive players and that call with Chase on had did the same thing, that they wouldn't have called that complete and gave the ball to Kansas City? You saw what happened with Chase on when he intercepted the ball, right?
No, I think they would have been in the favor of the Chiefs. Seriously. You can remember, I lived that for 20 years here in New England, watching Brady be the next coming of Jesus Christ over here.
Right.
With, to football with what was happening here. How you would see calls like the whole tuck rule, never been called before, never been used ever.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, in one of the most pivotal games in playoff history, you go and pull that one out of the rule book? Are you freaking shitting me?
Right. Yeah.
When it was blatantly obvious to the naked eye, again, that was that whole, I think a lot of that had to do with the whole mystique of the Patriots, who they are. It was the first time that they looked like they were going to do something in the playoffs going forward and possibly win it because of how good they were.
Yeah.
But I think it was also that whole Patriot the word Patriot. It was right after 9/11.
With the time and what was going on. With
Yep,
the,
it was right
I
after
remember that,
9/11.
yeah.
You know, how would it look if the Raiders went and played in the Super Bowl versus the Patriots? You know,
Right.
that's how I always looked at it. That this was the NFL's way to like, we're with we're putting the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
And you're not wrong off. And I'm not big on conspiracies, but New Orleans was another one. Remember the hurricane?
Oh yeah, right after
That took
Katrina.
over New Orleans, and then that was the year New Orleans went all the way to the Super Bowl, and they beat Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl. Like, yeah. So you definitely see it. But AR, what's going on, brother? He said no one was louder than me at questioning Sincere spot on the Raider roster for 2.5 seasons. He didn't do squat. I'm happy that he's proved to me that he's good enough to keep around for next season. I'll say that. I'll agree with being able to keep him around, but to be convinced that we got one in him, I still got to see more.
Yep.
You know? Yeah.
I mean, he got put into it late. You know, I mean, he was in by default of injuries.
Injuries, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and it was his opportunity. And I think the games that he did play, he shined. You know, he finally got promoted to RB1, and he was showing that, you know, he was improving every week, which is what you want out of, you know, a player that you're given this opportunity to, and the player wants that opportunity. You know, so he was on the right trajectory until he got hurt, unfortunately. You know, now he's done for the season, and now we're stuck with, you know, Abdullah and Madison for the rest of the season. You know,
and it definitely showed on Sunday our lack of having a run game. Yeah.
I mean, Abdullah was. I mean, he was kind of clutch in a way. I mean, the way
he was with especially on the pass catching. You know,
he's always been that way. When he was here in New England, he was the same way. You know, he's better out of the backfield.
He was in New England. I was like, he was in New England.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that came over when McDum-Dum took over.
Yeah. What up, Rebel? What up, Rebel? Rebel, the big AOC fan. AOC, the cerebral assassin. I've been telling y'all. We'll see, man. It's like I said, he didn't do bad, but to me, he wasn't that great either. You know, there are a couple of throws that he missed. He could have hit Tucker more on stride, but maybe that has to do with timing. We'll see. I'm definitely glad he was able to get the ball out to Bowers. I'll say that much. But CBS Sports has Sanders dropping. I've seen that a lot too. What I've read on people saying why Sanders is dropping the off the field stuff with his dad. So teams trying to stay away from that. That has a lot to do with it, you know. Like I do want Shador for the record, but not him. Draft a guard or a tackle. Trade back for a draft a QB later. By all means, draft a QB. So one way or another, we're gonna get a QB this draft. Whether it's
we should. I don't have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as of right now, is AOC 12 the long-term answer? Probably not.
Yeah.
But is he serviceable to get us some wins and, you know, get us on the right path while a rookie learns behind him? Absolutely. You know, it's a lot better than going out and spending a fortune on a freaking.
And that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to go out there and spend a lot on Sam Darnold, right? I don't want to go out there and spend a lot, say, on Geno. Say Geno wants to get out of Seattle or whatever, right?
What about Kirk Cousins? They're talking about releasing him before his.
See, and even with Kirk Cousins, even if he does come on a friendly Russell Wilson deal, like I don't want Kirk Cousins.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
And even still, if he comes, he's only going to be here for a very short term because
short time.
He's already 36. You know, he's not going to be playing for much longer. He's not Aaron Rodgers. Let's put it that way.
And you definitely saw the decline, you know, with this recently going on this
in one season. He went from up here to he's gone.
That goes a lot to show what Kevin O'Connell did with being his coach, you know, being able to get that, produce that with Justin Jefferson, you know, things of that nature. But AR says, nah, Al would be like, who has the fastest 40-yard dash? That guy? Yep, he's a reach. Draft him. That's Darius Hayward Bay right there. That's how we ended up with Hayward Bay.
Yep.
Rebel, my dude, I am a Notre Dame fan to the bone, to the core. Riley Leonard is not the guy.
Is that the quarterback for them?
That's the quarterback for Notre Dame. Yeah. Yeah, he is not the guy. He said, I'll take Jackson Dart over Shador. Jackson Dart's another option, right?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I on all honesty, I like the kid from Oregon, Gabriel.
I do like Gabriel. I
I would not be butthurt if we grabbed him. Really would.
I mean, If that's where we land and where we end up because of our draft status, then yeah. But if we pass on Shador, if he's still there and we pass, and then later on get Gabriel, maybe then I will be a little livid. That in that sense, I would be like, "What the hell are we doing?" But yeah. He said he's staying. Jackson beat Georgia, man, and that's the part I like. Okay, he beat Georgia, but then what did he do the following week? Right? They lost. Like you can't base it off one game like that.
No,
you know.
No.
It doesn't matter who he's beat. Josh Allen didn't beat anyone in college either, and wasn't near as pro ready. So what does that matter? And no, I'm not comparing the two, but other than where they played in college, and that's why I put some effort, some energy into that, but not a lot because, like how you said, you look at players like Josh Allen, dude. Patrick Mahomes went to Texas Tech.
Look at Khalil Mack. He played in Buffalo.
Khalil Mack, thank you.
Came out of a college in Buffalo, New York. Who the hell
no,
have you ever heard coming out of Buffalo and making an impact? I mean, seriously. You know? I mean, there's even a kid that the Colts drafted. Oh my God, I can't think of his name now. He's got a real weird name too. He came from URI, University of Rhode Island College.
Rhode Island?
Yeah. I can't think of the kid's name. And URI is not a big football school. They're more basketball.
Is it one of? Is it Division I or is it one of those FCS Division II?
I don't know. I don't follow.
Turf, you would know. You know Rhode Island. Turf. Where's Rhode Island? He would know.
Rhode Island.
Yeah.
He might know what level they are.
He would know what level. Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way: they play in the division with UMass. They were in the ACC, the old ACC. I don't think it's the ACC anymore.
No, the ACC is different. They put different people in it now.
Yeah, like Providence College, the Flyers basketball team, they play in the Big East. Well, they were in the Big East. I think they
in the Big East. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
the Big East. Does that still even exist?
I don't know. I don't. Like I said, around here, the biggest sport around here for college is definitely basketball and hockey.
Well, it makes sense. You got UConn out there, and then hockey. Yeah.
Well, BU,
I don't like UConn, by the way.
Boston College is big for football, but their hockey
Boston
team.
College is another one. Yeah. Yeah.
Football's not a big factory football up here.
I don't know. Turf says that that Northeast be producing some players, man. Yeah. So we'll see.
The last person I can think of that had any type of impact in the NFL that came out of Rhode Island specifically was Mark Van Egan for the Raiders back in the day.
Oh wow, that's where Mark Van Egan was from?
Yeah, he's from Rhode Island. He still lives here. He lives down in Cranston. His family owns a drugstore, pharmacy.
Hey, what's going on, Salim? What's going on, brother? He said the NFL is rigged. How is the NFL rigged? Please tell me. Please tell me, because I love these stories. Because I'm beginning to believe it a little bit here and now.
I believe it's just another version or a better version of the WWE as far as scripting goes. If you think about it, it's listed as
entertainment. What's making it worse, Jeff, is the betting aspect of it.
Oh yeah,
the fact that you go into FanDuel and you see all that stuff up there, and it's like you can't tell me that one way or another that's not affecting. Or you're not going to do that for the outcome of these games, right?
How much money is made in that? I mean, Vegas,
how
much money they make. I mean, good God. You know, I mean, let's put it this way. It's to the point now where you're seeing FanDuel is got sponsorships on, NFL commercials, DraftKings. This show's presented by DraftKings. It's only a matter. I'm surprised they don't have a DraftKings bowl or a FanDuel bowl yet. Or Caesars,
I think one of the college ones does, right? I think in college they do. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, since they started those betting apps, oh my God. I mean, the amount of money that they've made off of that.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's crazy. And when I see that stuff, and then you see the over under, and then you see people show you that, and it's like, well, damn.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, well, you've been watching this game tonight. We're gonna win next week because the Saints. If Kamara doesn't play next week,
I need Kamara to play. I really do because I have him on my team.
I had a bench. I picked up the kid Miller that's playing tonight.
If the score stays like this, yeah, I'll tell you once the game's over. I don't want to jinx it, but I have a little story if the game ends like this. Rebel, we don't know what we have in AOC yet. Enough games, in my opinion. Okay, cool.
I believe that too.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I feel the same way about Ward, Rebel. More of a project and definitely 2 years. I think with Ward, I think it is more of a project. I would be more... See, with Ward, I see the athleticism. I see the arm, but I also see how he can still be groomed and coached to be a better quarterback. And I wouldn't be mad at that. But then that goes back to what you're saying. You don't want to use a pick that high and have the guy just sit.
Yeah, I still believe that's a wasted value pick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, yeah, I know that the value is thinking long term, but right now, the way this team is, we need immediate impact right now to have any hope to give us something to build on. Because do you want to survive through another year of what we're doing right now, where we're putting warm bodies out on the field and we're lucky to win a game or two? The nation deserves something better. Let's put it that way. We need hope, and right now, you look at this current roster, there really isn't a lot of hope on this team. As far as the future,
I don't see hope on the offensive side. I will say that.
No.
Other than the O-line, right?
Other than Bowers and JPJ.
Right, Bowers, right. I do have more hope with our defense, especially because we've seen some other players, step up. And then you add, once our starters come back, to me, that's going to be even better. But yeah, and it's crazy you said that because I got home this morning. I have 2 nephews. One's 18, the other one's 10. The 10-year-old comes running into my room, bro. High five. We won. We won, Uncle. Yeah, hell yeah, we finally won. Right? Mind you, his dad always gets on him about being a Raider fan because we always lose. But then he tells me, he goes, Uncle, because my other nephew, he goes, Johnny said, why did we win? That was dumb. So this is like the 10-year-old and the 18-year-old, So you're starting to see, But then afterwards, the 10-year-old explained to me, he's like, but I get it. We need a quarterback, so we want to draft better. But then he was like, this is what he said. It gives me hope seeing we won. That means we're not as bad as that other team. Yeah.
It's I want to see that winning culture come back with this team, and
but we can say that because we've seen it.
Correct.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: you got these people, you got fans that are fairly newer fans, like saying within the last 15 plus years,
right.
That don't know what it's like to see us win consistently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you keep those people interested in coming back?
Mm-hmm.
They still hang on to that mystique of the Raiders, but that's because of people like us, our age, passing that down. And if people stop being Raider fans going forward because they're so bad and they got frustrated and they're tired of waiting, you're going to start to lose that fan base as generations go on.
Right.
Because some people just aren't going to, at some point, like my grandson that's going to be coming soon, if we don't start winning, by the time he gets of age, that I'm going to probably be gone by the time he gets older.
Mm-hmm.
My son's going to be older. My son doesn't even know what it's like to watch the Raiders win consistently. Okay. He was born in 95. So after, our glory years, minus the year we went to the Super Bowl with Tampa, so even he doesn't even know. And he's 27 years old, 28 years old, and he hasn't even experienced the winning culture since
right.
around it. So it's like you have to, that's why you have to rely on the people that have been around for a while to instill that history in them to keep them engaged. But when you look at the product on the field, it's like, how do you do that?
Right.
You have to really pull some magic out of your ass.
And it's funny you bring that because I'm walking me and my boy a rundown. Me and him were talking about that last time, right? About how do you get a younger fan like Rundown who hasn't seen the glory days to continue to buy into this, right? How is he going to get little Rundown to buy into being a Raider fan without his father's influence, if we continue to look like this? Yeah. I know my nephews are fans because of me. If they were just to look at the TV and try to pick a team, they would not pick the Raiders, right?
No, they probably all be Chiefs fans.
Definitely not, bro.
Because you
what's going on, my dude? What's going on, brother?
Go for the team that's winning.
What's going on, man? Yeah, that's a fear, man. That's a fear. I keep saying that, bro. I feel like for a person, I say who speaks for the younger Raider fans on YouTube, because I even say it to y'all, bro. There's not even no younger fans on YouTube. For real.
Yeah.
That'd be like, you know what I mean? Like if you look around the landscape, for real, there's nobody my age really doing no Raider content. You want to know why? Because it's not sexy, bro. You ain't gonna get no views. You just ain't gonna get no views, bro. Like for real. Like like as of right now, bro, it's either you grind it or you know you. It is what it is. But if you a younger fan, bro, you got to suffer in silence, bro. Think about this, right? 20-something, right? I'm going to school or whatever the case, middle school, elementary, high school, however you want to do it, bro. I can't wear my shit to school. I can't. Keep it a bean, bro. Like keep it a bean. You talk about kids now, bro. You can't wear your shit to school. You can't wear if you wear your shit to school, that's how you know you was a diehard. Like for real, bro. Because you gonna get laughed at. You know what I mean? Like just real shit. Because we stuck. We're trash, bro. We're doing something that goes for many a year. This is even before this year. Like so, like, I don't know how you get a younger fan to buy in. Right now it's about players. Right now,
and right now the younger generation follows players. I did notice that a lot. The nephew loves Josh Allen. That fool loves Josh Allen as a player. He's a Raider fan, but that fool loves him some Josh Allen. You know? Yeah. So
of course. I mean, because he's a good player. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and they win, and they win because of that. Now you just got to like at the same time you got to instill having that talent on the roster, and at the same time with the talent, then the younger fans will start to build that pride. You feel what I'm saying? Because the pride ain't there. There's no pride. The pride come from y'all. For real, like Jeff said, bro. Like for real, that's where the pride come from. Because we used to be good. Al used to do this. We used to go in the glory days. We used to whoop ass and do all this and blah blah blah.
We used to be automatic on Monday nights. And
you feel what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like now it's like, bro, them are stories that you could tell in the campfire. You know what I mean? It'd be like, oh well, you know, back in the day we used to do this shit, and that now it's like, well, you know,
us gray geriatric sons of bitches, right? Yeah, us old kids.
Hey, look, real talk, bro. It's like real talk. It's like one perfect analogy I can give, bro. It's like you used to tell me, look, Mike Tyson used to fucking kill people in 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Now I see him with his ass. Now I see him with his ass out on live television.
That's a great analogy.
This is where we're at. This is where we're at, bro. Like this is the type of shit we're doing, bro. Like this is where we have to climb from, like trash, like literal depths of hell. Now, I've climbed off my high horse.
Just not think it was all bad because you did get to see a playoff game in 2021, right? 2020.
Come on, Dad. Come on, dog. How dare y'all? You know what's crazy, bro? Don't get me on my high horse right now because when y'all start woofing to me about them playoff shits, bro. Think about this, right? Think about this. The playoff win that I did get to see, our fucking quarterback broke his leg. So how the fuck am I supposed to enjoy the playoff game, bro? I knew from that time right there, bro. I was like, we're not winning this game. Who was the quarterback, bro? Who even was the quarterback at that time?
The year that car went down.
We put bro.
Kid, Connor Cook.
Connor Cook.
First game ever he played in the playoffs.
First game ever he played in the playoffs, bro.
JJ Watt, bro. Against JJ Watt.
So, against JJ Watt.
Come on, bro. Come on, you're fraudulent. And then don't even get me started about the one against the Bengals, bro. We shouldn't have been there from the jump. Stop. You know, stop. We shouldn't.
No, I remember that whole season was like a miracle because we watched that last Charger Raider game at the pizza place together. Nephews were ecstatic, bro. They were on their high. You know,
bro. It was pure grit and spit. The way we got to that motherfucking playoff game, bro. No way we should have got to that playoff game. No way. Right? We weren't even equipped. We had no receivers. The O-line was spotty. Right? So it was like, all right, bro. Like we're just getting here off pure emotion. We are. Some people knew that. Some people thought, okay, McDaniels was gonna come in here and see. Even McDaniels was fooled. He came in this motherfucker, thought it was a playoff team. He was like, oh my God, I'm coming here, bro. I'm gonna change it. The quarterback's ready. Everybody's ready. No, it wasn't ready, bro. It wasn't ready.
So I want to share something on the screen right now. So
go ahead.
Rundown. You haven't seen this yet. Leo's seen it already. So we're talking about wearing Raider gear, right? So
brace yourself, Rundown.
There we go. Look at that.
Uh-oh. Show it to me.
You see it?
I need
no, there you go.
I love
my
that
dude with the Raider onesie, bro.
In all the glory, bro. In all the glory. I love that shit right there, bro. I love it.
We had the Secret Santa yesterday, and it was my turn. So I just walked up to the table and I saw a box wrapped up. So I'm like, I'm just gonna grab that, open it up, and I'm like, oh, it's a blanket. I'm like, oh no, it's not. It's a sweatshirt. I'm like, and then I held it up. I'm like, what the hell? I said it's a goddamn onesie.
You need that.
I looked at the size and I was like, you gotta be shitting me. For the first time ever in the 18 years I've been in this club, it's finally something that's gonna fit me. Right, because everything I get when I open up a shirt, it's usually like a medium or a large. It's like, what am I doing with that? Give it to my kid. I opened that up. I brought it home. I told everybody, I'll take a picture and I'll put it on the Facebook page.
That's it right there, bro. I will wear that for 2 straight days.
A little snug. So
I will wear that for 2 straight days.
I gotta tell you a little funny story, man. So fantasy football, the gods love me. Going into tonight's game, I was only up by 3 points. He had New Orleans kicker in the game.
Oh.
They just got shut out, and now I'm in the finals.
Man, dog.
And this dude was the number 1 seed, bro.
I'm scared again, bro. I'm scared again because this week actually, the Saints suck. The Saints are
that's bad.
Saints are bad, bro. So I don't
know
know.
Green Bay's good, but I don't know. Maybe it was Green Bay's running game was that good.
Well, Green Bay's good, though. Green Bay's good. Yeah. So, they can run the ball.
Talent this year.
They can run the ball. You know what I mean?
They got this running back we're familiar with, I think, right? Green Bay.
They got what?
Don't they have a running back that we're familiar with?
A little bit.
One of our practice squad guys or something, right? His name Jack Jones.
Don't get Chris started, bro.
I'll say this because I'm over here cooking, so I gotta hurry. I just want to pop in for a little bit, say my stuff. But I'll say this: look, I jumped off the ledge from last night. Last night I was heated. All right. I've jumped off the ledge. Well, a tad. I'm like 1 foot off. You feel what I'm saying? 1 foot on, 1 foot off. It is what it is. But I mean, because there's still a chance for Cam Ward. To me, I think
I heard you say that in the chat earlier. Like, please explain how.
Cam Ward is obtainable. Shador is not obtainable. It's a wrap at that point. Because to me, it's like as much as I think like he does care and Deion will veto somewhere, I think he cares more about him being the top 3 pick. You feel what I'm saying? Like of what that is instead of going to a certain place. I think it's more about top 3. I want to be a top 3 pick. You know what I mean? Like that's all he said. Right. So like, because if we sit at 6 or some shit like that, will he be cool with saying like I'll drop all the way down to 6? I don't care. Like if he says that, right? Like then that's different. But right. I don't. From everything they've said, it sounds like, or he just wants to go before Deion, which Deion was 5, right? Like
Deion was 5. Yeah,
exactly. So like that's what it's looking like. But Cam Ward is obtainable because you got to think about this, right? If the teams ahead of us are Jacksonville, New England, shit like that, right? Like if we're sitting at 4 or something like that, then at that point they don't need quarterbacks. You could sit at 4, right? You could literally sit at 4 unless you heard wind of Tennessee saying we finna trade up to number 2, right?
Those would be the ones that worry me, Tennessee and Cleveland.
But to be honest with you, bro, well, it depends. It depends. I mean, it depends if you think Cam Ward is a franchise-changing quarterback. Because at that point, you have to then outbid them, right? Like if they said, okay, we're going to give New England 2 first-round picks. Well, shit, at that point, you know what I mean? What do we got to give? We got to give them 3. We got to give them 3.
Right.
That's the way. And to me, I'm just like, now I'm with Jeff. Right now, I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing all that, bro. Not this year.
He's on board the Jeff plan.
now I'm starting to hear.
You mean this one? This one?
See, at that point, now I'm there. But I'll say this, right? Like if you don't get into that, and you can just go ahead and let him fall to 4 or some shit like that, well then, hey, there you go, because he's obtainable. You can still get him.
Right.
And if he drops down to 4 and you can just snatch him and you don't have to trade no capital, you do that shit all day. All day.
Hey, what up? We got one of my other dudes. What up, AR? What's going on, big dog?
What's going on?
What's going on, gang?
How you doing? How you feeling? How you feeling this Victory Monday, brother?
Look, anytime the Raiders win, you're not going to convince me otherwise that it's a good day. Right?
I didn't think so.
I just want to hit on rundowns, yours too, Leo, about how kids are more fans of like an individual player, and that is just the day and age now. because there's access to these players that was never there. Like when I was a kid,
No, 100%.
Right,
you know,
right.
I never had access to these quarterbacks or any of these
Mhm.
high profile players. It's all because of social media, and you could send a message to him. He may actually read that. You'd send someone a letter, they may never see that letter. They've got their agents working on that. You know, a lot of these social media apps that these guys are on, it's them that end up really answering you, you know, unless it's their PR person handle that. But there's more access to these guys where they can look and watch hours of video on anybody of these players that they like, you know. Back when I was a kid, none of that crap. It was newspapers, and you have to go to the library and watch cheesy ass.
Even me as an
films.
older Raider fan, the majority of my favorite players are Raiders. It's even probably Raiders people don't know or won't even like, you know, like you're talking about Jacoby Ford, Denarius Moore, you know, dudes like that, right? And then of course I like Barry Sanders, Megatron, things like that. But to sit there and be like, oh, I like this dude specifically, so I'm gonna like that team. It was just different for me back then. Like you said,
I think just my last point, and I'm gonna let y'all go ahead because I know I gotta get the fuck up out of here. But I said last point to Jeff's point, and that's why I feel like a lot of people, like such myself, took a liking to Shador. You take a liking to Cam Ward because you see these dudes right before they even get into the league, so you see what type of people they are already, right? So it's like I already see, you know, from multiple videos, multiple whatever the case is, right? Of what type of dude this dude is on and off the field. So then it's like at that point, people already take that liking, right? So then people gravitate to, all right, we suck. Now I like this guy already. You know what I mean? This is why people go so hard to want a certain quarterback or whatever the case. But you already know what time it is, man. Hey, I appreciate you. Make sure
appreciate you stopping by, big dog.
Of course, man. Subscribe to Cheetos.
If I don't talk to you, have a good Christmas, brother.
Of course, bro. You already know, man. Subscribe to AR
Pops,
as well, man. You too as well, bro. You already know. Condolences as well, man. Merry Christmas to everybody here on the chat, on the stream right here, man. If I don't see y'all, I think we still doing Turf and Rundown. So if not, hey, y'all already know what time it is, man. Appreciate it. All right, man. See y'all.
Later, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I caught your show this morning, Aaron, and I was kind of glad that your show was one focused on we won, and I'm gonna be happy with that, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
My attitude towards the whole situation is look, I'm going to concentrate on the now this season, even if it is a wash. If we win, I'm going to celebrate it. If we don't, it is whatever. You know what I mean? But take care of business and let the cards fall where they will, and worry about that when the season comes to an end. Like when it comes to, okay, this is where this is where our draft position is, as well as like free agency is going to be the first point of interest, as well as like what we're going to do about our coaching situation, right? Yeah. So that changes a lot of what we need with the draft and what we're going to do and where we're going to attack. I still believe we need to attack the quarterback position. Whatever we do, whoever we bring, whatever veteran, if we do bring in a veteran into the door in free agency, I still think we need to bring someone young and fresh in the door and see if he can be the guy to compete with AOC, because I believe AOC's earned that right to stick around at the very least. He's a guy that is a good enough, at the very least, to be a backup, a guy who can start and win some games in a pinch. He's proven that.
He's on board with this, Ben. He's on board.
Project AOC 2025. Well, maybe not so much as like he's still not my guy that I believe we can build around for the future. Right. As it stands. You know what I mean? Like I still want to bring someone else in the door that might be able to give us more confidence. But we will see. I'm not going to all the way shit on AOC, but I'm also not going to crown him as like he's my guy.
Right. I get that part.
So,
yeah.
And
I think I'm the same way. Like I don't see him as the future, but I could see him like that bridge type while we get the young
he's
guy
definitely there until we get our future secured. That's
right.
I'd rather have him than spend money on a high-priced veteran that, for what reason? You're bringing in someone new to the entire system when you've got a guy that's already been here for 2 years now. You know, that's already been in the building, been with this team, practiced with everybody. Has got rapport with people.
Is there even anybody worthwhile in free agency as it stands? Like, and again, that's going to change because even the most like touted of free agents that is coming off their contract, whoever it may be, I don't know. A lot of these guys get snapped up re-signed by their teams anyway.
Yeah, like I know the one everybody's talking about is Sam Darnold, right? Sam Darnold. I don't think he leaves. He's in a good situation there with Minnesota. Yeah, they drafted a rookie quarterback, but that doesn't mean he has to take over.
And
Darnold's
you don't know how
doing good
McCarthy's going
with
to come
that
back from
coach.
that injury either.
Yeah,
And the
You
and the
don't
other
know how McCarthy's going to come back from that injury. If he
That's
comes
the
back
other one,
still
too.
hobbled, would you rather go with a different backup than Donald? I mean, look what he's done for you this year. Of course, you want to go with the familiarity.
right. And the other point is that, and this is something I've said a few times on my own channel, is how many times have we gone that route since Rich Gannon has left?
trying to find the.
How many
next
times have we tried finding a veteran guy or a guy that's been around in the league and tried to see if he could be the next Rich Gannon?
Yeah.
See, I've been a fan
Rich
since
Gannon or
2009,
Plunkett.
and that's throughout.
That's it.
Other than Derek Carr, that we've tried and tried and tried, and we have failed each and every time. You know what I mean? We found some average guys. We have found some above average guys. Like for me, I liked Jason Campbell until what
I was going to say
happened.
Jason Campbell.
You know what I mean? He's to me is the only exception. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're not going to sell me otherwise that any of these other guys were worth a shit. Some of them were average, maybe above average at best, but that's it. And I'm getting sick and tired of taking let's try and find the next Rich Gannon route. No. You know what I mean?
That's
It's,
what I'm
it's
saying.
time we try and try again. You know what I mean? Like we cannot let the fear of what happened with Jamarcus Russell prevent us from swinging at a quarterback in next year's draft. I'm not saying like if we pick at 6 or 7, we need to reach for a guy just for the sake of a quarterback. No,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But if we're picking high enough where we feel like, all right, there's a guy there, like if it's Shador or if it's Cam Ward, you know what I mean? Whoever it is, if we believe that he can be the guy, let's try again. You know, worst case scenario, if we shit the bed, for me, it's a case of so what? At least we try it. You know what I mean? If we succeed, then you know what I'm saying. Like then our future should be secure for the foreseeable future, right?
And I think even if we do go that route, like Harry saying, or with the rookie, we pick a new one. We also have to know as fans to have patience. We can't expect this kid to come out there and like, boom, now we're going to the Super Bowl, or boom, now because Jaden Daniels and Stroud did it, this kid should take us to the playoffs too. You know, there's other needs as well as a whole team. And you said it starts in the offseason with the coaching, what's going to happen, and then the free agency, what direction they're going to move in, who they're going to bring in, what type of players they're going to bring in. You know, like all that goes into consideration before we even get to the damn draft.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've got a boatload of picks as well. We've got 8 draft picks as it stands. So it's not like, you know, we've only got one pick and then that's it. Like we've got plenty of picks to be able to address the other areas of need. Like I want us to attack the running back position no matter what happens in free agency. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like that's a position that needs to be addressed. Wide receiver is a position that I hope we attack as well. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree, definitely.
Yeah, me too.
I'd draft 2 running backs if I'm going to be honest. Bring 2 guys in the door. You know what I'm saying? Like surely one of these guys got to pop.
Right. Not only that, but a receiver that's taller than me, please.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like our receiver, we got small ones. Like it's cool. We got an awesome tight end. We got 2 of them. But
no more drafting from the College of Wizard of Oz.
I don't know. I don't know about 2 of them. You know, I'm still not sold on Myers. He hasn't established himself yet for me.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bowers is what he is, but Myers,
especially because we traded up to go get him. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, there's no pressure on Myers to be the guy, being that Brock Bowers is that guy.
There definitely. That's kind of been
You know, he still needs to establish himself as that, like.
Yeah, that's true.
Number 2 guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Our other buddy. What's going on, Nate? Las Vegas Raiders.
What's good, you guys? What is up?
Yeah. I don't know. Have you met AR? Have you followed Afakasi? If you don't, follow him.
Yeah, I definitely follow you. I don't think I met you before, bro. I'm Nate, LV Raider.
Yeah, this is the first time I've shared the panel. Yes. Sorry, is it LV Raider or do you go by a different alias?
Whatever. My name's Nathan. You can call me Nate, LV Raider 10. Whatever you want, bro. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Mm-hmm. Nice to meet you, bro.
I tried getting him to change his name, but he wouldn't do it. I told him, I said, you got the perfect name for it. I said, you should be Raider Nathan. He goes, but it sounds like it sounds like I got a list. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I get that. You should change your name to Raider Nathan.
Yeah.
People
I use your names because we talk so much in the group chat. So I'm just used to calling you guys by your name.
Yeah.
Raider Nathan. I think that's it.
But he went to the game. Why don't you tell us
did,
about
yeah.
it, bro? You were there. Yeah, how'd that go?
Yeah, honestly, like it will. I mean, you always have a good time in Vegas. You know, it's always a good time being with Raider Nation and you know, in the environment, all that kind of stuff. But the game itself, it felt like so slow paced. It felt like
ugly game.
both offenses could not get anything going.
Yeah.
And then like on the way home, I was watching the Dallas and Tampa game, and I was like, dude, this game is like so fast paced. There's so much stuff happening, and I was like, why couldn't our game be like that? At least a little bit more engaging, a little more interesting. But I mean, yeah, it was pretty fun. I mean, you always, like I said, you always have fun at Allegiant, always have fun in Vegas. But yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely an ugly game, bro. You could definitely tell those were two of the worst teams in the NFL right now playing each other. By the offensive
Two teams that couldn't make up who wanted to win the game early on.
Right.
Sure. It's like, we don't want to win. Here, you have the ball back. No, you have it back. We don't want it. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, good
Offensively, we're horrible, but defensively, I don't think we're that bad.
And that's
I
what
think defensively, we've done, for the most part, the best. We've made the best of what we have in terms of our roster shakeup, and with I think Patrick Graham has coached well enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're missing a lot of our key players. We're missing the whole strength of the strength of our team was touted to be the defense, right? And the strength of our team was touted to be the defensive line. We are missing every single one of our playmakers on the defensive line that was supposed to, you know, be the strength of the team. Like Max Crosby, granted he's just out, but he's been playing hurt for how long? Malcolm Kuntz, we lost at the very beginning of the season. Didn't even take a snap. Christian Wilkins only played what, like five games, was it?
He was after the Bronco game. I mean, he was out after.
Right. Was that even halfway through the season?
Or the Cleveland one?
That was before. That was after the Cleveland one. So like the 4th or 5th week. Yeah.
Right. Early on. So we lost
it was still early.
all our playmakers on that defensive line, and we brought in guys like, I mean, granted, Adam Butler for me, like has stepped up to the plate,
stepped up a lot,
and he's been once again the Mr. Consistent these last 2 years, like a guy nobody talked about. And when I think about it, name one interior guy that you'd say has produced more and better than Adam Butler since Tommy Kelly and Seymour left the building. That's how long it's been. Our interior has been woeful since then. You know what I mean?
And we've always said we need that big guy
inside.
But we need that big
right.
guy
Christian Wilkins, like he hasn't had enough of a
enough time yet. Yeah,
not enough time to say that he's not that guy, because I believe he can be. He showed flashes of it, but Adam Butler as a whole, like, he's been for me the best interior guy we've had in the buildings for the last decade. Name one better.
The defense continues to show up, and I like that because we continue to hold people in the 20. That's what we always say. Our magic number is 20. If we can score more than 20, more than likely we'll win, right? But it's being able to score that many points that's been difficult for us. Yeah.
And that's why I say, if they do move on from AP at the end of the season, there's two coaches I would like to see stay. Patrick Graham, for sure, he's earned the right to stay and run the defense going forward. Because I think he's done a great job with limited availability for players with the injuries.
Yeah.
He's, you know, they've been great, actually, in my eyes. And the other one would be Philbin, because of what he's done with that offensive line since he took over. You know, granted, he's had some bum players out there because he has no choice because of injuries. You know,
Right.
That it showed this weekend, moving JPJ off center and to left guard. You could just see the difference on that line, that they just weren't as good as what they were when JP's back at center. Because then at that point, your two weaknesses were your guards. You know, now you had two weaknesses in the middle. Left side was pretty decent with JPJ and Miller, you know, and then you still had Glaze on the right side. So that middle of that offensive line was a little suspect yesterday. You know, you could see it.
I thought it was more Dylan Parham that was getting bullied. He was the one I noticed. I thought it was. I thought Andre James had a decent enough outing, being that he's a guy who gets heavily criticized, and he just made his comeback this week. And JPJ did reasonable enough. I for me personally, from the eye test, it was Parham who struggled. And
I've been on Parham's
that's kind of inexcusable, being
that
he's at right guard. He hasn't switched from being a right guard. Like the other guards have kind of shifted and changed, whereas he's been consistently there. And usually he plays decently, but last game I thought it was him who.
I've been on
Parham's been on Jeff's shit list for weeks now.
I was gonna say, don't get Jeff started on Dylan Parham for sure. He'll go off.
Can I ask a question for you guys?
Yeah.
K'Lavon Chason. What do you guys feel about him and the ramifications of his play of late being that, like, a guy who flashed last season, Malcolm Kuntz?
Right.
We all had high hopes for him, and he was doing all the right things in the offseason. He was actually stepping up to take that leadership role, and we lost him to injury before he even took a snap. Now K'Lavon Chason has elevated his game, and for me, been the standout when it comes to the defensive ends. He's had 3 sacks in the last 4 weeks. He's had 4 sacks in total. He's had 1 interception, and he almost had another interception last week. He's making a lot of. He's being a playmaker, something that I was hoping Tyree Wilson would be consistently, but he's not. He hasn't been.
Right.
But with K'Lavon Chason's elevation, so to say, do you think Malcolm Kuntz would re-sign on a cheap deal, or do you think he's done enough for us to maybe consider, right, we'll just keep K'Lavon Chason as that guy? And
I mean,
not saying that's what I want, but move on from Kuntz.
I think for me, it would depend on how much Kuntz wants. If there's a way to keep both, if you look at it, depth is always a good thing to have.
Oh, hell yeah.
Keep them fresh, multiple ends, you can mix them up. But with the season he had last year, the year before with Kuntz, earned it, right? We were just waiting. You got to pay him. He's gonna want big money. Now he got injured. How's he gonna come back from the injury? So how they work that deal out to me will determine whether you keep him. But it does give you more leverage, I guess. If he wants more money, you're not willing to pay it.
Right.
Then you tell yourself, well, we got Chase on. We can stick with Chase on. I would love to have them both. I would love to be able to keep them both.
Too.
Yeah.
I like that
that's
depth
where I would
option.
go. Yeah.
I think it spells the end for Kuntz, to be honest. Like, as much as I want to bring him back, and I know that I don't doubt that they're going to offer him something, but because of Chason's elevation, that something that we offer him is going to give us more leverage to say, well, we're only going to give you this much. I believe another team's going to say, well, we're going to offer you more. You've got no ties with the Raiders other than we're the team that drafted you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm just putting the crumbs together. I think he's going to take that.
And then the thing also,
I don't doubt another team's going to give him. You know what I'm saying?
Coaching wise too, where they go. If you get another coach, another regime, they have no ties to Kuntz. So then that changes as well. Yeah. Yeah,
I hope he comes
Jeff,
back, but
I
think his time as a Raider has.
I agree with you on the coaching aspect, which is why another reason why I want to see Patrick Graham stay, because he's worked with these guys for the last year, and this has been a great thing for them, and that would have an impact on whether you can retain these guys for a little bit lesser money on, like Kuntz. If you want to be able to keep him, that's going to help, because he knows what he's got in a player like Kuntz. He definitely knows what he's got in Chase on, because he's seen it since he's been here. He's had an immediate impact with this team, and I definitely want to keep him. Then you also got Spillane too. What do we do? We hope that he resigns with us. I think he's going to stick around. I don't see him bailing.
Yeah.
I really don't, because him and Max are pretty damn tight from what I've seen. So I think Max could probably talk him into sticking around. Giving a little more time.
Yeah.
As far as the secondary goes, as far as our secondary goes, I think it's kind of up in the air who stays, who goes. I know some people have opinions on who they want to definitely see go, and who they want to see stay. That's again, we can't really guess anything until a coach decision is made.
Yeah.
Do I trust what Mark Davis says when he says, "Oh yeah, he's if he says, oh, he's fine, we're gonna bring him back." Like if he says that now, but then all of a sudden at the end of the season, because you've seen owners do this at the end of the season. Next thing you know, you get up in the morning and go, "Oh shit, EP got fired at 3 a.m. last night." Oh well, I guess we're moving on again.
Yeah, that's true.
I do. I'm right there with you in my confidence with Graham. Although this is something that my guy, shout out to Nutty Raider Nate. I did my morning show with him. He brought it as a point, and I actually, now that I think about it, I have to agree. His criticism of Patrick Graham and something that I'm right there with you, I guess, is how much input he has when it comes to what we've done when it comes to drafting defense for the last 2 seasons. You know what I mean? Like, how much of an input did he have when it came to picking guys like Tyree, picking guys like Byron Young, picking guys like Neil Farrell, Matthew Butler? You're following the crumbs. You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, these were all guys that we used draft capital on, and not even come close to living up to the expectation. You know, Byron Young's off our fucking roster. He was up out of here after a season. You know what I mean? Yeah. Tyree Wilson, the jury's still out on him, but you cannot sell me, despite like him having some spots, that he's even come close to living up to that seventh.
Oh no, he was the seventh pick. No way.
Not even close. You know what I'm saying? And with the elevation of guys like Kalavon Chase on, like, are we ever going to see it from Tyree? The jury's still out. He's going to have time, but you get what I'm saying? Like, yes, we hit the mark with guys like Ja'Cory Bennett. You know, I like what we've done there.
Yeah.
But as a like when you look at like where we've gone right, where we've gone wrong, for me personally, it needs to be better. And that's something that, like, if Patrick Graham had a lot of input and say on these kind of picks, I want to see better from his evaluation moving forward.
Yeah. Or even now with Tom, if his influence, even how much is it there now? Or is Tom just saying, like, I'm just gonna get these guys, you coach them up, you know?
Yeah.
But last year's draft was more offensive focused, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Well, you think about who we got, right? It was Bowers, JPJ, and Glaze were the first three.
I mean, when was the last time you saw a team hit on 3 picks? Back to back.
2014 was the last time we did it. 2014.
Did we? Who was it?
Come on, man. Really?
Mac, Carr,
Jackson, and then Ellis.
Jackson was the third round
back
pick?
to back. I believe so.
I didn't remember that part. I knew about Mac and Carr. I just couldn't remember the other ones. Yeah. Okay. Well, makes sense. Yeah. One of our better drafts, I guess. Yeah.
And you know, when you think about it, that season, sorry to cut you off, Jeff, but remember that season? Right. We lost 10 straight. Same deal this year. We hit it out of the ballpark with our first 3 picks. DCam Richardson's a nice guy, like as a spot guy, as a guy we can develop.
Depth-wise,
But you get what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of similarities. We hit it out of the ballpark with that draft, but we lost 10 straight. It took 2 seasons for us to come along and be that. Remember 2016? That's when things finally started to come together. And unfortunately, we didn't go further because of said circumstances we all know about. But it's to my point. You know, we went through the same kind of thing after we nailed it in the draft. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully maybe this could be the same kind of situation. Sorry to cut you off, Jim.
That's all right. I look at it this way too. Like, you take those same number picks, like the positions that we had for the 3 rounds last year, but go back to an older regime of GMs and head coaches. Do you think they still pick those same 3 players that just got picked last year? I don't think so. I think at 13, if this was a couple of regimes ago with GM and coach, we would have overreached for a quarterback at number 13 because we were so desperate for a quarterback. We would have super overreached at number 13. We probably wouldn't have grabbed JPJ because they would have been fine with Andre James. And I guarantee we probably wouldn't have picked Glaze either. We would have picked some other.
Glaze,
I don't think we would have any one of these 3 players on this team if it wasn't for Telesco. If we had a different GM in there, this would be a totally, especially one of the past ones, we wouldn't be talking like this. We'd be like, well, there's another wasted pick, like the Tyree pick. You know, and Tyree.
When I saw Penix get drafted, I was scared we were going to reach for a corner.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. I thought at that point we were going to screw ourselves. You know, like with Tyree, I know you mentioned him. You know, he's picked number 7. And I'm measuring him based on who was picked after him. And you got a guy like Carter who's just lighting it up in Philly, like Leo had said earlier. You know, that's how I evaluate him. You know, same guy came out same year, but a few picks later, and this guy's excelling. And we had the opportunity to get him.
You did.
You know, it's the whole team thing. Like when teams pass on Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, and they draft something stupid instead.
Like pick Tua instead of Herbert. Like,
The thing with Jalen Carter, my bad. The thing with Jalen Carter is that everybody forgets, honestly, too, because I was talking about it with my friends too. Is that there was a lot of stuff happening around Jalen Carter at the time of the draft.
Talking about that earlier.
So I mean, it's kind of hard to say retrospectively, like, hey, we probably should have picked him because the whole Henry Ruggs thing was still super fresh and not like in everybody's mind. So it's kind of like, do we want to go get that guy who already has that history, bring him to Vegas, and have that hypothetical this could happen again type kind of thing? I get it, and I do wish we had Jalen Carter for sure still on the scene because he would for sure help. And we can always say maybe we can always look back. Everyone says hypothetically or retrospectively, your vision is 2020, but I think at the time Tyree Wilson was more of a project pick, and it's the more of we need to continue to develop him because he's shown flashes this year, and he was having a pretty decent couple of weeks, and then we got Chase on, and I think he kind of stole the spotlight. He stole his reps, and I mean,
Nate, are you really trying to sprinkle some?
I'm trying to. I'm like I said, I'm an optimistic. I'm an optimistic Raider fan. I have his signature on this side. I'm trying to get up the value for that thing, bro.
I get you.
I can agree with that to a point. Like he showed flashes and he showed some spots in certain times this season, right? But at the same time, you cannot sell me that this guy has even come close to living up with the bare minimum expectation of a 7th pick overall. So for me, you're talking about your measuring sticks. I have my own, I guess, measuring stick when it comes to where you pick in the draft. And for me, if you're picking top 10, you need to be not a rotational guy. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you might have that concession year 1, but by year 2, you need to be not just a starter, a good starter. You know what I mean? And you need to show flashes of like that. Yeah, we were worth that first round draft pick investment, and there's never been that moment for me where I've said, yeah, he's starting to really live up to that first round expectation because he just. Do
you think that expectation goes for every
not.
first rounder, or just defensive, more impact? Automatically, you should be playing players because most people would say the quarterback, even if he is top, he should sit and rest and learn, right? Develop before you put him
in. I guess maybe to a point, maybe so. Yeah. Like with a quarterback, like I guess I can give you concessions. Like okay, if you struggle year 1, and most positions, I guess, you know what I mean. Like and maybe even Tyree. That's why I said year 2. You know what I mean. Like if you struggle year 1. Like if he can pop year 1, much like Brock Bowers, Khalil Mack, Josh Jacobs, that's the ultimate bullseye with a round 1 selection. If we don't get that, I can live with that year 1 as long as you're showing flashes of potential that you can be the guy. Colton Miller, you know what I mean? He struggled year 1.
Colton Miller.
You know what I'm saying? Like I stand by what I said. There's a minimum expectation with round 1 guys, and even round 2 guys with Michael Mayer. You know what I mean? Like and round 3, Byron Young, who couldn't even make the friggin' roster, got beaten out by Matthew Butler for Christ's sakes. You know what I'm saying? Like
Trey Tucker was a 3rd rounder, right? He was the Waller.
Trey Tucker, like he's living up to that expectation per se. You know, like he's a guy who I like in spots. He's had to play at that number 2 role.
Which is not his role at all. Yeah,
which is not his role. Like he does well in spots for me. He's a spot guy, but I don't know if you guys noticed it, but he struggles in the contested catches when it comes to getting those balls into high point. You know what I mean? Like, he it seems like he will not make that catch 9 times out of 10. You know what I'm saying? He will only make the catch where he gets the separation. But I like that's just for me where I stand. Like I don't even want to look at the guys that we could have picked that went after us. It's just for me, it's like right, this is who we got. There's a bare minimum expectation, and you need to live up to that expectation. You know what I'm saying?
This one's is a good one. It's a receiver out of Arizona, Tatarian McMillan.
T-Mac.
T-Mac. Well, that's what T-Mac is. When people who don't know T-Mac, they're not talking about Tracy McGrady. It's Tatarian McMillan.
That's what I said in my life.
That's why I heard it. Okay.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I heard
somebody left the comment. T-Mac and Bowers. I'm like, who's T-Mac? Are you talking about Tracy? Sorry, forgive my ignorance. I'm not too knowledgeable when it comes to the college football because I don't.
Right. I know we're talking about Carter too, but I think if Al Davis was still around, he's the type of owner that would have taken a chance on somebody like Carter because he was known for doing that way in the past. You know, take a chance on somebody. Mm-hmm. You know, I wouldn't have been surprised that if he was still with us and still had all his faculties with him, you know, he would have said, you know, we need to ignore that shit and just trust this kid and bring him in because he's that good of a talent.
How
Well,
is
that's
he
just
going
the way Al
statistically?
Davis was.
Huh?
How is Carter doing? How is Carter doing?
Oh, Jalen
statistically?
Carter's doing really good in
Good.
Philadelphia, bro.
Is he? Okay.
Mhm. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
If we could have had
Spread-
him and Max
yeah.
playing together, oh good God,
Yeah.
that would be. And Wilkins still playing, not injured in the middle. Oh my God, this
Mhm.
defense. I mean, the defense has been.
We need to
decent.
do better when it comes to drafting interior. We've been so
No.
terrible for the longest time.
Yeah.
Look at what we've done in the last 3 years.
Yeah. It's been
Alone.
bad. Yeah.
Let
The
alone
head
the last
drop did
10
it for me
years.
right there.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, let
And
me
you're
throw out
talking
some
about-
names. Just the last 3 years alone. Matthew
Yeah.
Butler, Neil Farrell, friggin' Byron Young,
Byron
Nestor J.
Young.
Silvera. All these guys are off our roster bar one guy, Matthew Butler, and he's done what?
It's all bad. Yeah, we gotta, and I think that's where, like, when you said it earlier when you were in the chat, in Tom we trust, and I think that's where a lot of my faith goes in with this draft, because he did good. Even with the Chargers, he got them good players. Maybe the coaching choices weren't the best. They had bad coaches, but they had good squads. He built the good squads, so he's able to draft. So I want to be able to see him do the same thing over here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I did see that joke of the long live Al Davis. That 30 for 30 was legendary with this ghost walking around the stadium. It took us 40 years talking about how the Raiders Stadium took to have. Yeah, I saw that one. That one did give me goosebumps when I saw when they had like a little AI version of the video of him in that stadium. Yeah, that was pretty dope. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see who's playing Al Davis in the John Madden movie?
It's Christian Bale.
Is it
Yeah.
Nicholson?
No, Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Really?
Batman.
Not Nicholson. Who's the guy who played Ghost Rider? The
Nicolas
meme
Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas
He's playing
Cage, that's
John
it, yeah.
Madden.
He's playing John
Oh,
Madden.
okay, right.
Yeah.
Mm.
So who's Bradley Cooper playing? I heard
I
he
don't
was
know.
in
I
it
didn't look
too.
at the cast. I just know those two off the top of my head. I'm gonna look it up now because now I'm curious.
Mhm.
Let me
I hope
see.
they do a reenactment of the post Al Davis game, like the death. The Houston Texans.
Oh, like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
how
hope they
far
have
it's
like a
gonna
scene
go.
of that.
Yeah.
That would be
be. Mhm.
a beautiful.
Yeah,
way
me
to
and
go.
you always talk about that game. It's so memorable. so
I still
legendary.
get goosebumps
Yeah.
like thinking
I
about
still
it.
get
Yeah.
that Al Davis game. Yeah.
Hell
But
yeah.
we'll wrap it up here. I know you guys got to go. You have another show, but I appreciate you, AR, coming through. Let them know where they can find you. You too, Jeff. Nate, let them know what you guys got coming up.
Good, you can go.
Me or you guys?
Yeah, whoever.
All right, no worries. Well, first things first, thanks for having me on, Chido. It's been too long since I've been on your show, but I appreciate you having me on. So thanks, guys. I know it's been a tough season, but at least we're almost through it. And tough times don't last, but bad guys do. And the Raiders are as bad as they come, right? So hopefully we'll get there in time and get to where we want to be sooner rather than later. But just hold tight, Raider Nation. But where you can find me, that's my name down below, Afkazi Raider. I noticed a lot of people in the chat, they already followed me, so I do appreciate the support. If you can find me there, I do content much like your boy Cheeto and Jeff and Raider Nathan. So appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me on.
I got him seeing later.
Appreciate you coming through, brother. Yes,
Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Good, Nate.
Yeah, so I'm LV Raider 10. You can find me on all my social medias. I'm on here with Jeff and Leo pretty often. We got our own podcast going on there. It was good to meet you, AR. But yeah, keep tuned. Like I said, follow me at LV Raider 10.
Can I ask whose channel you guys' show is on? Like, what's the YouTube handle?
All four of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's Wednesdays at 7, called the Raider Connection. Mhm.
Oh, that's on your side of the fence.
That's
Cheeto.
on mine
But
too. Yeah.
Do
Mhm.
you
They
guys
all stream
rebroadcast on your channels?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we do.
What's your channels, if you don't mind me asking?
Good, Nate. Well, it's right there.
Yeah.
I'll be right there.
Yeah, all of my socials are the same thing, LV Raider 10.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And mine
Yes,
is
sir.
right there. Any _Raider boosters. Do I have it here? No, I don't. God dang it. Thought I had it there.
Oh, you're
But yeah,
really
we do the Wednesday night show with myself, Leo, Nathan, and Jay from Just Win Raiders, baby. And then Nathan and I have our own show together called the Raider Connection. No, I'm not Raider Connection. Raiders Coast to Coast. I'm on the East Coast of the United States. He's on the West Coast, so that's why we do the Raiders Coast #2 to Coast. But we stream that on both our channels too. And we're
Forgive me.
usually
I'm having a hard time finding your channel. I found Raider Nathan's channel. What's your channel? Henry?
it's NE_Raider Boosters.
Nothing's coming up. I mean,
Really?
am I tripping?
Hey, what up, Arnie? Just win, baby. No matter what pick we get, that's right. If you didn't find it, I'll send it to your IG.
Yeah, send me the link. Yeah, I couldn't find it. So
That's good. I'll send it to you. Yeah. Mhm. But thank you a lot. Thank you so much for joining us, brother. Appreciate it.
No
Appreciate y'all for joining me today. Trying had to cancel. It is what it
Yes,
is.
sir.
But like I said, I am not upset that we won. It's just win, baby, not just tank, baby. So I will not be mad, and I'll be watching on Sunday, and I still will be hoping we win. But if we lose, I won't be mad.
Hey, quick question. When are we doing the connection? Are we doing it? Let everybody know. I know we normally do it on Wednesday nights, but it's Christmas night. Are we still?
Yeah, we got to
do it?
figure that out because it's Christmas night. So yeah,
Mhm.
well, we'll figure it out in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So we'll
found
get
both
back
your
to
channels. So I
everybody
just
when we're going
subscribed.
to be on.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Appreciate you, fellas. Take it easy.
All right, guys.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry
You
Christmas.
too.
Safe
Keep
holidays.
safe. Take care of yourselves for sure.
Take care.
Just win, baby. Look, check it out. All black with a hoodie, snapback, with a snap on. All white socks, me mugging like I'm King Kong. With them all black Chuck Taylors. West side and this bitch yelling Raiders. Thuggin', cause we know with it. Motherfuckers like y'all suck, but we don't give a fuck, nigga. We go with it. Jaw jacking, getting nigga fucked up with the quickness. Parking lot scribbles, giving nigga the business. Shh, quiet. The fuck you mean? We yelling Raiders, bitch. Like fuck your team, you wanna talk your shit. Get stabbed like Scream Stadium. Take off, nigga. Homicide scene. Oakland to LA, LA to Oakland, Las Vegas, Sin City, steady smoking. Raiders looking to get another ring like fuck y'all haters, nigga. Y'all know I mean. We yelling Raiders, bitch. Y'all know what's up, like Raiders, bitch. Quit there, 2 niggas up like Raiders, bitch. I show no love like Raiders, bitch. Nigga, we don't give a fuck. Raiders, bitch. Y'all know what's up, like Raiders, bitch. Quit there, 2 niggas up like Raiders, bitch. I show no love like Raiders, bitch. Nigga, we don't give a fuck.
With so much drama in the big LV, it's kinda hard being Yaya or end up C. But I, somehow, some ways, keep dropping these Raider hits like every single day. Man.